hardest book I've ever read wasn't Ulysees, wasn't The Infinite Jest, it was the Bible. And not because it's controversial, but because reading it from cover to cover was one of the strangest reading experiences I've ever had. It took me about 3 years in the late 1980s to read the full Bible. My name is Jim. This is my channel, Books, Reading, and Stuff. Bibles are not all the same. The canons are different between different religious groups. The Protestant Bible has 66 books, 39 of those in the Old Testament, 27 in the New. I read the Protestant Bible at the time, the New International Version. The Catholic Bible has 46 books in the Old Testament. Georgian Orthodox has 49 books in the Old Testament. The Ethiopian Bible has 81 books, including the Book of Dominoes, which sounds interesting. The Catholic Bible has 2 Maccabees. The Greek and the Russian Orthodox Bibles have 3 Maccabees. The Georgian has 4 Maccabees. I haven't read Maccabees, I just read, as I said, the Protestant Bible. Why is it so hard? Well, there's the size, for a start. But it's also not really one book. It's a collection of books. And they differ in style and tone. There's narrative books. There's poetry, like the Psalms. There's law, like Leviticus. Prophecy, the books of Daniel, the book of Revelations. And there's the letters of Paul and others in the early church. It's a mix of different types of book. One moment you're reading a story like in Genesis of the flood, or of Abraham about to sacrifice his only son Isaac, and then you're reading the law in Leviticus in great detail. The tone shifts constantly between historical narrative, genealogies. There's a lot of repetition. God tells Moses the commandments, and then Moses goes down and tells the Israelites his commandments. There's apocalyptic visions, and there's some really strange books like Ecclesiastes, where it's describing spaceships and lights in the sky. And there's a lot of humour as well. Sometimes incidental humour. There's a tale in Numbers of Balaam and his donkey, and the donkey starts talking to Balaam, and Balaam starts responding to the donkey as though nothing's up. And there's also that one about the camel passing through the eye of the needle, which I'm sure was hilarious in the original Aramaic, but now it's taken so seriously. And some chapters are basically just census records. Eliezer was the father of Phinehas. Phinehas was the father of Abishua. Abishua was the father of Buki. Buki was the father of Uzi, and so on and so on and so on. Doesn't make the most entertaining reading. It's been a while since I've looked at any parts of the Bible, and I've got no great desire to look at other religious texts like the Vedas or the Qu'ran. But there are some interesting stories in here that you don't have to be religious to read, like the tale of the Good Samaritan or the Prodigal Son. And this has been a big influence on a lot of great works of literature, like Moby Dick, like East of Eden by John Steinbeck. As I said in the introduction, this took me 3 years to read. I'm glad I had the experience. Whether I want to reread it, I don't think so. Maybe read some parts of it, parts that I enjoyed. I followed a reading plan at the time to read it as chronologically as possible. Reading the Bible was the hardest book I've ever read. Its length is intimidating, and the different tones and styles. Whether you read it for faith, for literature, or just for curiosity, it's impossible to deny its impact. It's been one of the most influential books ever written. And for me, if for nothing else, it's given me one of the strangest reading experiences I've ever had. I've been Jim. If you like this video, and give it a thumbs up. This will help with the YouTube algorithm. the almighty YouTube algorithm, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.